Day 8 of training styles I tried so you don't have to, and how they affected my pain. After trying the knees over toes program, I kept looking for something that made sense. I wanted a comprehensive framework that explained to me how the body should move and subsequently how to train it to avoid all the chronic injuries that people run into all the time. I came across GOATA on Instagram, which stands for the greatest of all time athletes in actions, and their philosophy aligned heavily with what I was looking for. There's a way that humans are supposed to move and that we've gotten away from because of sedentary living, and this way of training is supposed to keep you from non-contact injuries. They heavily reject the reductionist approach of modern science and use their own vocabulary to define terms and movement patterns. These include a bow, a corner, and inside ankle bone high, which is inversion of the ankle in the foot with a high arch, among some other terms that they use. This system definitely has some pieces right and has the right idea, but I also struggled very much to get straight answers out of coaches when I reached out for the questions I was asking about the nuances of the system, although I had a very positive interaction with the ones I chatted with, especially Bam. Let's start with the pros of the system. I like how they relate all their movements and training back to the gait pattern as much as possible. This is important because it's the most used movement by all humans. I also liked how they use isometric holds in their programming to build capacity in the lower body, as this often helps with pain relief and translates well to force transfer in movement. Their training with drop-ins and other unique exercises definitely helped me to loosen up my lateral hips and get some more flow into my running and walking, rather than feeling stiff when I run and walk from lifting. As for the cons, like I mentioned, the coaches I talked to couldn't quite sufficiently explain their theories in depth to the point where it answered all of my questions, and the rejection of all modern science terminology made it difficult to communicate nuance because scientific terminology does give us a good common framework for understanding and communicating about movement and training. I found that I got some medial knee pain while training with this style and also some 4th and 5th metatarsal pain on the outside of my foot because landing on the outside edge of the foot while running in barefoot shoes puts a lot of pressure on those structures and underutilizes the foot's muscles and big toe. I also would have liked a more well-developed and better explained upper body training framework, as I felt it lacked the nuance and explanation as well compared to their lower body framework and couldn't quite help me with my rib and T-spine injury. All in all, I think GOATA was on the right track to developing a system that filled the gaps of traditional strength training, but kind of threw away the baby with the bathwater and the rejection of all science-related understandings, and therefore made it difficult to discuss nuance and improve upon the parts of their system that needed it. Tomorrow I'm diving into my current training system, so stay tuned because this is